Hello, this is a tutorial on Blender. I'm going to show you how to do a character controller script. Now, what a character controller script is a script which will allow you to move. This is an example. Ignore the gun, ignore everything in this scene, but I'm just going to show you how to make the guy walk, look around, jump, crouch, sprint. There we go, sprint. Do all these basic things which are in normal FPSs. Mostly the walking and looking is quite important. So, we'll just start. Control N. I shouldn't have done that. Probably should have saved that file before I went off it. Fantastic. Anyway, that's fine. Guess I'll have to redo it. First thing I'm going to do is change this to Blender Game. Press N. Go down here, display, GLSL shading, texture. Change it to game logic, press X on that. Whoops. And we can start the lesson. Let's go back into textured. Now, how games work. This is a very basic thing you're going to need to learn if you're going to even start to think about developing a game. In games, there are things called collision bounds. And how a collision bound works is it determines how two objects collide together. In the game engine, this is how you change the collision bounds. The different physics types, there's character, navigation mesh, all this stuff, most of it you won't even brush on in this early stage. Soft body, you won't touch that. Navigation mesh, no chance of you touching that. Occlude, even I don't know what that does. But for this we're going to use dynamic. You'd think we'd use character, but no, because that's a Blender thing and it's very buggy. So how most games work. Most games work on the basis of a cube which has got a camera parent to it, and the cube runs about bumping into stuff. The cube is you. You may not think it because there's arms there. When you're looking down an FPS game, there's arms. But the actual character you have is just this basic cube, and it interacts by moving around, bumping into stuff. It's kind of hard to explain just by talking, so I'm just going to show you. So to make this character controller, you're just going to need to select your camera, press N, and just set all the rotation values to 90 for the X and 0 for the rest of them. And just select your cube, press Shift S, cursor to selected, select your camera, Shift S, selection to cursor, go to your camera by pressing 0, and then you can just press GZ and move your camera up a bit. So your camera is there, exactly in the middle of the cube and up near the top. Now just hold Shift and select the cube as well, Control P and set parent object. Now when you move the cube, the camera will move with it. Now, we need to sort out the collision bounds for this cube, because at the moment the collision bounds is this radius here, which doesn't work very well because it does go through the map a bit. So we need to add a collision bound. I'm going to set it to box. Now what this will do, now if we just higher it up a bit and drop it, it will stop there. It will collide with this, as it would in the real world. Very simple. So now we've got to go to your camera, and I'm just going to set some values in the camera. I'm going to change that to a field of view and change it to 80 because that's what I like. You don't have to change it to 80, just recommending it. And now we're going to load in the Python script. So press text, open text block, and the text block will be in the description. For me it is somewhere in here. Yeah, there we go. This is my, well, not my script, this is that guy's script. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. So we're just going to load it into the Blender game engine. So just select your camera, go to always, set it to true level pulsing, Python, and there we go. So now this is always loading in this Python script. Now we're just going to add in a keyboard or keys and set that up. So now we can actually look around. We can't move, but we can still look around, which is pretty good. If you add a new game property and set that to adjust, change the type to integer. This adjusts the sensitivity. Normally I have it on 5. I like it on 5. That's me. Also add a cap. Set that to, well, I won't set it yet, but as you can see, without the cap you could just do that. Unless you're an owl, that is not normal. So we'll set the cap integer 170, and what this means, it can rotate 70 by 2, so 160 divided by 85, can rotate 85 degrees up and down. So 85 degrees there and 85 degrees from there, which will have this effect. You cannot look up and down. There's a slight bug with this where if you do it very fast, it just sort of bypasses that, and yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm not sure why it does that. I think it's because it just skips the cap. It's hard to explain. It skips a logic step when it tries to initialize this cap. I'm going to have to try and fix it. It's a problem with the script. I'm going to have to try and fix that, but for now you have to live with it. So select your camera, hold shift, select your cube, add a collision and ray, minimize those, and link it to your Python. Collision detects collisions, ray. I'm not even trying to explain that to you. I will explain it in a later video. If I do in later videos, we'll go into what a ray is, but for now you don't need to know. Now if I press P, we still can't move. That's because we need to add a property called demove, boolean and tick, and enable boolean and tick. Now what boolean is basically something, basically a property which is either true or false. An integer is any real number, so any negative number, any positive number. A string is a text block. A timer is a timer. A float is a number with decimals, and I've already been through those two. So with those two checked, those two booleans checked, and change my cap back to 170. You can see we can move, we can jump, we can laugh and we can cry. Hold control and we crouch. Well, not actually crouch, we just slow down. But I can show you how to actually make the character crouch later on. And if you hold shift, you sprint. Brilliant. Now if we go back into here, we'll see the jump is a bit ridiculous. So we can actually just type djump, integer 5 maybe. Is that okay? 5? Yep, perfect. So let's change that. I want it to 18 if you want, and just like Superman. Well, Superman will be like that. That's Superman. Gone so far you can't actually see the square anymore. The plane, sorry. Might just increase that a tiny bit. See how far we jump up. I'm actually curious. Jump. He won't jump. I think I've scared him. Oh, there we go. Wow. Gravity doesn't seem to be very apparent on this world. There we go. Crap, I missed. Anyway, so you can play around with this. It's very versatile. If you want to change the speed, I think it's d-speed. I think. I can check if not. Yep, it's d-speed. If you want to, don't do that. Yeah, I won't do that. It's a very bad idea. 5. Generally 5 seems to be quite a good number. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and also invert boolean ticket, it'll invert the mouse view. So that's basically it. I mean, nothing much more I can say about a character control script. It just sort of moves. So as you can see, as I'm moving a mouse as well, that's how things interact in a game world. They're a cube, and I'm just going to show you an example. So this cube here, it'll interact with that cube like that. That's how things work in games. It seems a bit weird that that's how, you know, games like Call of Duty work, but they work on a bit more complicated basis. As in, this is just a cube. A Call of Duty game would have a cube more like this, which is subdivided and in more of a cylinder shape. And to do this, and also to change that to cylinder, to do this because now it's got more of a smooth finish on it. Before it was very blocky like this, where if you looked there it'd actually push you out a bit. That's not what the really want in games. They want smoothness, they want the niceness in it. So that's how you get that effect. So really you could use it as your character control, and you don't need to actually literally subdivide it like that. You can just change that to cylinder, which would have been a lot easier. You can experiment with these. I wouldn't use capsule, it's a bit glitchy, but you can use sphere, you can use cone if you want, you can use a convex hull. I don't want to explain that to you. Will that give me a good explanation? Yeah, not very good explanation. A convex hull will morph around the shape, but will not go invert. It will not go into minuses. So basically, this cylinder, a convex hull, will make a collision band around the entire cylinder. But if I move that bit in there, it won't recognise that, and it'll just sort of put a collision bound covering that hole, so you won't be able to go inside there. Again, how to explain, and again I'll show you in a later video. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and give me some feedback. See you guys later. Bye.